This podcast is brought to you by Wizard.ai and by Revival, Book 1 of the Unveiled book series.
Welcome back to the AI Analysis Podcast. We're finally looking at an episode of the Goosebumps Crew Podcast. We've been wanting to take a look at them for a long time.
Yeah, one of the most popular podcasts on our network. They actually won the Arete Award for Best Guest and Podcast of the Year in 2024.
And today, we're taking a close look at a particularly exciting video from their channel, one where they tackle a truly monstrous task, ranking all 16 of the Goosebumps TV series two-part specials.
Right, all 16 of them. That's a big job.
It really is. You're in for some surprising opinions, I think. Some fascinating behind-the-scenes insights, maybe.
Yeah, and probably a few aha moments about what makes these spooky stories really, stick with people.
Exactly. Our mission today, let's unpack their analysis and try to understand the nuances of these iconic episodes as seen through the eyes of these lifelong fans.
It's a really interesting look, I think, into how even, super passionate fans can have such different takes on the exact same episodes.
Totally. And how that personal connection, maybe nostalgia, really shapes how you see things.
Yeah, definitely. Shapes critical opinion in ways you might not expect sometimes.
Absolutely. So let's get into this. This particular video, it focuses on their two-part ranking special. But before we dive into their specific takes on each episode.
Yeah, it's probably worth understanding who the Goosebumps crew actually are, right? And the kind of impact they've had.
Good point. They've made a pretty significant mark on the Goosebumps fan community.
For sure. So the Goosebumps Crew podcast, it's primarily hosted by Isaiah Vargas.
Right.
And he's got his co-hosts Bjorn and Mick with him. And together they've really, they've built something pretty special there.
Yeah, like a real hub for fans of R.L. Stine's stuff.
Exactly. And you can tell they're dedicated. Their schedule's super consistent, new audio episodes every Tuesday.
And then the video version hits YouTube on Wednesdays.
Right. So there's always fresh content coming out, keeping the discussion going.
And it's important to stress, I think, that their discussions go way beyond just the TV show two-parters we're looking at today.
Oh, absolutely. They really cover the whole Goosebumps universe, don't they?
They do. They're dissecting the original books. They analyze the TV shows, the classic 90s one, the newer stuff.
Yeah, the movies, the merchandise, which is huge in itself, and even, the video games.
If it says Goosebumps on it, they're probably talking about it.
Pretty much. And what really, I think, elevates their show is the kind of guests they get.
Oh, yeah. The guest list is seriously impressive.
It is. They've had actors from the original 90s show on.
Which gives you those amazing first-hand stories, what it was like on set.
Totally. And crew members from the movies, too, talking about, adapting the books for the big screen.
And it's not just industry folks, either. They bring on other really dedicated fans.
Yeah, creating that sort of shared space, But then they also get, the iconic cover artists.
The guys who basically defined the look of the series.
Right, and even people who worked on the toys. And get this, even the Goosebumps musical.
There was a musical. Okay, that's dedication.
Right. It shows you the depth they go to.
That range of guests is just, wow. It means you're not just getting fan chat. You're getting insights straight from the people who made this stuff.
Exactly. It adds this incredible layer of, depth and authenticity to what they're doing.
Yeah, it really shows they're not just, passively watching. They're actively engaging with the whole legacy of Goosebumps.
Mm-hmm. And building that community around horror lit, fostering that shared passion.
It really highlights their dedication, I think, to the material and the fans. Makes listening feel, I don't know, richer.
Yeah, definitely more enriching than just, hearing opinions. You get the context, the history, sometimes straight from the source.
Okay, so shifting gears then, back to the specific video we're examining today. The Goosebumps crew took on, as they put it, a monstrous task.
Ranking all 16 of the TV series two-part episodes.
Yeah, and that's no small thing, right? So many iconic stories in that batch, and fans feel very strongly about them.
Oh, for sure. And their method was pretty simple. Least favorite to most favorite.
Straightforward enough.
But they knew, right from the start, that they probably wouldn't agree on much.
Yeah, they actually said they hoped their lists wouldn't be too similar. They wanted that debate.
Which is what makes these ranking things fun, isn't it? Reflects how diverse fan opinions really are.
Totally. Now, before they actually jumped into the ranking itself, they did take a quick detour.
Right. The new House of Shivers book. Say My Name.
Yeah, they looked at the cover art.
And that little discussion was quite telling, actually. Shows their, like, detailed fan perspective.
How so?
Well, they talked about the pretty colors, the nice-looking fish, the good balance of greens and blues. Real specific stuff.
Okay.
And Isaiah even said it was better than Book 3's cover. But then he clarified, the mummy, not living mummy.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that is specific. Shows they really know their stuff, down to the individual covers.
Exactly. Deep familiarity. Now, about the ranking itself, they had to set some rules, right? What counts as a two-parter?
Yeah, and they made some important exclusions. They specifically left out monster blood and more monster blood.
Right. And also trilogy.
Okay, so why those? What was their reasoning?
Well, for Monster Blood, they argued that even though the stories connect, the parts felt sort of made with the idea of them still being separate in a way.
Okay.
Bjorn pointed out it was like two very different locations with two cast of characters. The only things linking them were the main kid and the Monster Blood itself.
So less like one continuous story.
Yeah, more like a sequel, kind of. And Nick had a similar thought about trilogy.
How so?
Well, yeah, the parts connected at the end, but they saw the first two bits as basically standalone stories, just linked by one thing.
Okay. So their main rule was...
It had to feel like two halves of a whole episode,
Yeah.
you know, holistically. One big sprawling story cut in two.
Right. Makes sense. Which, brings up a good question for you listening. How do you define a two-parter?
Yeah, does their definition work for you? Or do you think maybe Monster Blood should have been in there?
It's interesting how setting those criteria up front really shapes the whole list, isn't it?
Definitely. And they clearly thought about it.
Okay, let's get into the actual rankings then. Starting at the bottom, their least favorites.
Yeah, the ones that didn't quite make the cut for them.
And there seemed to be a common theme down here, right? A lot of them struggled to justify being 2 parts long.
Yeah, exactly. They used words like dragging or slogging. Felt like they could have just been single episodes, basically.
Without losing much.
Right. And the other thing that came up a lot was episodes being kind of forgettable.
Or maybe leaning too much into the cheesy side.
Yeah, too much cheesy and campy without enough actual scares. Seems like they wanted that balance, the fun and the frights.
Makes sense for Goosebumps. So number 16. Kicking it off, Isaiah's least favorite was Attack of the Mutant.
Ooh, okay. Controversial, maybe? Some people like that one.
He was pretty harsh, though. Said it slogs for the first half, could have been 30 minutes.
Ouch.
Described part 1 as just walking around a giant empty corridor, or the main kid, Skipper, trying to push his comic book on people.
Right. And he found the best friend character weird.
Yeah, Vincent called him a somewhat weirder nerd than in the book, with this weird obsession with rocks.
Okay. Not exactly high praise. Did he like anything about it?
Well, yeah, he admitted the second half, so like the last quarter was entertaining.
Okay, so it picked up at the end.
A bit. He praised the sets, Adam West's cameo, obviously,
Always good to see Adam West.
and Scott Wickware as the masked mutant. He enjoyed the campy superhero stuff, but overall, really, really boring. His worst 2-parter, he used that analogy, when are we getting to the fireworks factory?
Yeah, okay, I get that. Pacing issues.
Big time. Now, Bjorn's number 16 was How I Got My Shrunken Head.
Okay, another one that divides people.
He did not hold back, called it terrible, so forgettable,
Yeah.
felt it was a really poor adaptation of the book, didn't like the actors much,
Crucially.
said it left out the scary, which is kind of the point of Goosebumps, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Did he find any redeeming qualities?
Barely. He mentioned Becky Lantis was in it, but thought she was better elsewhere. And he kind of liked the design of the shrunken head itself.
So just the prop, basically.
Seems like it. Felt like a campy misstep for him.
Okay, and Nick's number 16. His absolute bottom.
That was Deep Trouble. He said he literally cannot sit through it.
Whoa, strong words.
Found the first 5 minutes cringe, loved the book, hated the episode, specifically noting it adapted Deep Trouble 2, which he wasn't a fan of.
Okay, so it wasn't even the one he liked.
Right, and he shared the story about it being his first Goosebumps DVD ever.
Oh no, let down.
Hugely let down. Said it's probably the only Goosebumps episode that I don't think I can sit through from start to finish.
Wow, coming from a huge fan, that says a lot. Bad adaptations can really sting.
For sure. Okay, moving up slightly to number 15, Isaiah picked How I Got My Shrunken Head again.
So he had it low, but not quite rock bottom.
Right. Similar issues to Mutant, uninteresting, not as good as the book. Called it weird, even for the show's weird era.
What specifically?
He brought up that Elvis pilot impersonator in the first 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, that part is weird.
And the bizarre ending where Mark just flies away like God. his words.
Okay, yeah. It's memorable, I guess. Not maybe in a good way.
Did he like anything? Well, yeah, the shrunken head prop again. Nice looking animatronic, really good looking.
Seems the prop department did okay on that one.
Yeah, he found a few more things to laugh at compared to Mutant, but still said it was forgettable 5 minutes after watching.
Mm-hmm. And didn't Nick mention something about a computer game in that one?
Yes. The weird game Mark plays with the jungle man and the alligator. Nick's apparently been trying to find that game online for years.
Huh. A true Goosebumps mystery.
And Bjorn added that observation about the ending.
Right, the kid basically enslaves 3 people and keeps them in his room and his closet.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of dark when you think about it.
Very dark for a kid's show.
Okay.
Bjorn's number 15.
His 15 was Deep Trouble.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah.
landing more with Nick there.
Yeah. Said he was bored throughout most of it. Felt it really didn't need 2 parts. Could've been 1.
Pacing again. But did he have any positives?
A few. Liked the actors Todd Fennell and Lure Van Dort. And surprisingly, the giant iguana effect didn't even bother him much.
Huh. So it wasn't the effects, just the story dragging.
Seems like it. Stretching the concept too thin, maybe.
Happens a lot with adaptations. And Nick's 15.
Nick's 15 was Cry of the Cat.
Okay. He mentioned it didn't hit the same as an adult, right?
Yeah. And he brought up that R.L. Stine apparently called the book one of his worst, though Nick actually liked the book.
Interesting contrast. Did he like the episode at all?
He liked the concept. Said the opening reminded him of Scream 3, which is cool.
High praise indeed.
Liked Corey Sevier being in it, and remembered the makeup genuinely scaring him as a kid.
Ah, the childhood fear factor. Always counts for something.
And importantly, he said he can sit through it, unlike Deep Trouble. So watchable, just flawed. And he gave a shout out to Tim Jacobus's iconic cover art.
Gotta love the Jacobus covers.
We'll get right back to the scares after a quick sponsor break.
Stop wasting your time on manually editing your videos. The secret AI tool will do the work for you. One of the best things about it is that it gives your video the potential to go viral. Visit this page, sign in, create a project by clicking on this button. Choose a video that you want to use. Click on the AI clip button. Wait for the magic. It is scanning through the video and looking for the parts that has the potential to go viral. Instead of editing the video by yourself, it does the work for you. It even generates headline and captions which fit your video. Another surprise is that they generate video description or social post for you to use. Once done, click Export to Post.
And we're back, continuing our look at the Goosebumps Crew's ranking of the 2-parters. Moving up to number 14.
Okay. Getting slightly better territory now, maybe?
Well, Isaiah kicked off number 14 with what he called his biggest hot take.
Ooh, okay. Which one?
A Night in Terror Tower.
Wow, okay. That's usually pretty popular, isn't it?
Yeah, but he said he cannot get into this episode, found it uninteresting and boring, and frankly confusing.
Confusing. What about the plot bothered him?
The whole Wizard Magritte sending the prince and princess to the future without full memories, Isaiah was like, what were you expecting to happen? Just seemed illogical to him.
Okay, fair point, maybe.
And he had this running gag about everyone in England being a dick.
Huh. Who specifically?
The taxi driver, the concierge, some woman in a pink dress, even a woman eating a pastry, said they were all overacting.
Sounds like he really didn't connect with the tone.
Not really, but he did find some positives.
Oh, good. Like what?
Praised Catherine Short and Corey Sevier as Eddie and Sue. Liked the sets, the tower, medieval England.
Yeah, the production design's pretty good in that one.
And he weirdly appreciated the sound of prisoners shouting in agony during the execution march.
Okay. Interesting detail to like.
So yeah, his lowest ranked 2-parter, but he clarified it's not in his overall bottom 10 Goosebumps episodes ever, just that his 2-part list was very top heavy.
Meaning the good ones were really good for him.
Oh.
Okay, Bjorn's number 14.
Bjorn had Cry of the Cat at 14.
Right. He wasn't too keen on that one earlier.
Nope. Found it kind of forgettable and famously declared that a cat doesn't terrify him.
Huh. Fair enough. Did he have anything positive to say?
He thought the monster designs were cool, specifically mentioned a weird, bat cat, never skip leg day creature.
That's a description. Got to give him that.
So even if he wasn't scared, the visuals made an impression. Nick's number 14.
So yes, how I got my shrunken head.
You got it. He echoed Isaiah's cringy Elvis comment. Felt it seemed more like an early 2000s kids show. the 90s Goosebumps.
Yeah, the tone is a bit off sometimes. But he liked the prop, right?
Loved it. The sick shrunken head design. Praised how it looked just like the book cover. Wished he could get one.
Bet. They mentioned Ron Stefanik talked about how intricate it was.
Yeah, especially for its small size. And Nick brought up that mystery computer game again. Still looking for it.
The Jungle Man Flash game. His white whale.
And he doubled down on that dark ending observation. The kid basically enslaves 3 people.
Yeah, it's a weirdly unsettling note to end on. Okay, number 13.
Isaiah's 13 was, wait for it, Deep Trouble.
Whoa. He actually defended it after the others panned it.
He did. Said he views it through the lens of sort of like a 50s B-movie.
Ah, okay. Adjusting expectations. Does that help?
For him, yeah. He liked the effects then. The giant pufferfish shooting quills in the lab. Found charm in the giant lizard and crab fighting. Liked the fish creatures. The fish for a head guy, lobster person, big mouth creature.
So embracing the camp.
Totally. And he liked the ending for Dr. Ritter becoming a fish person in a carnival but actually liking it. Just deserts.
That is a pretty classic Goosebumps ending.
So overall, he found it interesting and pretty fun, despite some slogging issues. A real turnaround from the others.
Definitely shows how framing can change perception. Bjorn's 13.
Bjorn had the ghost next door.
Okay. What was his take?
He admitted after the first watch, he kind of just falls asleep during rewatches.
Oh dear, why?
Felt, no, not a whole lot happens. And once you know the twist, you already know what's going to happen.
So low rewatch value for him.
Pretty much. Landed right in the middle of the road for him.
Okay. And Nick's 13.
Was it also Ghost Next Door?
It was, but he liked it more than Bjorn did.
Oh, how so?
Said he watched it a lot as a kid and still likes it. Called it a good episode with a really traumatic story. Handled well. Yeah, the ending with the fire is pretty heavy.
He thought so too. Praised the actress playing Hannah.
So, mostly positive. But any criticisms?
Oh, yeah. Disliked the neighbor kids and hated the mailman.
The mailman? Why?
Called him an absolute asshole for not giving Hannah her letters just because she's a ghost.
Okay, that's a specific grudge. Anything else?
Didn't like the shadow ghost effect. Wished it was better than just a dude in a big, like, black hoodie robe thing.
Yeah. The effects could be hit or miss.
But overall, a pretty good episode for Nick. Just missed his top 10.
Okay, climbing slowly into the mid-tier now. Number 12.
Isaiah's number 12 was One Day at Horrorland.
The theme park one. Classic book. How did the episode rate?
He felt the low budget kind of hurt it. Said the park looked like a Christian, like, Bible camp or a trail park, not a theme park.
Ouch. Yeah, it doesn't look super grand.
And the ride's Coffin Cruise, House of Mirrors, he found not really that interesting.
So the park itself was a letdown. Any positives in part 1?
Yeah, he liked that the parents were involved, which is rare. Like the dynamic dad optimistic, mom cautious.
That's true. Usually the parents are useless.
And he loved the amazing scene when they get the monster punch. Called it a great gross out moment by Ron Stefanik.
The green punch. Yeah, that's memorable.
Yeah.
What about part 2?
Part 2, he said, saves this episode.
Oh, really?
Called it fun as hell. Funny, cheesy, corny. Liked the whole monster game show idea.
Yeah, the monster Pictionary or whatever it was.
Right. And the ending chase with the monsters after the car he found pretty tense.
And that ending is dark, right? Left hanging off a cliff.
Yeah, pretty dark ending. Maybe dying. He acknowledged the budget limits, but hoped for a bigger budget movie version someday.
Shows the core idea was strong, just needed more resources. Okay, Bjorn's 12.
Bjorn's 12 was Attack of the Mutant.
Okay, so higher than Isaiah had it. Did he agree about the slow start?
Yep, agreed. The first part was so slow, but the second half redeemed it for him.
What did he like? Adam West again.
Adam West, definitely. And Scott Wickware, as the masked mutant called his performance amazing, said he sold part 2.
Okay, so the villain performance carried it.
Yeah, he liked the costumes, the over-the-top villain and hero being campy, and the really cool sets, maybe an old factory.
But still felt it could have been shorter.
Yep, could have been a single-part episode if condensed, that pacing issue again.
Seems common for these lower-ranked ones, Nick's 12.
Also, Attack of the Mutant.
Okay, so consensus on its rank, roughly. What stood out for Nick?
Mostly the visuals matching the book. Said the mutant costume in HQ looked just like the cover, praising Tim Jacobus again.
Gotta love that faithfulness to the art.
And he liked that little meta touch the bus with the 2 thumbs up banner. Representation of Goosebumps within this episode.
Nice little Easter egg. All right, number 11. Getting closer to the top 10.
Isaiah's 11 was Cry of the Cat.
Okay. He defended this one, right? unlike the others.
Vigorously. Like that it took a different approach from the book, saw it as a meta take on Hollywood movies, even Goosebumps itself.
Interesting interpretation, like the making of an episode.
Yeah, exactly. He enjoyed the humor, the witty jokes, liked how the characters were really funny in their personas.
Who stood out?
The director running all around, always shouting at the prop guy, and he praised Corey Sevier again.
Okay. What about the horror?
Loved the cat design, gross and deformed, not cat-like anymore. Found the mom's half-cat face effect grotesque and amazing.
So the practical effects worked for him.
Big time. And he loved the delicious, no pun intended, twist endings. And Corey's final line, I love a good twist ending, compared the vibe to Scream 3.
Wow, high praise. Saw it as a good adaptation precisely because it changed things.
Exactly. Stood on its own. Bjorn's 11. Bjorn had One Day at Horrorland.
Okay, what did he focus on?
Enjoyed the actors playing the horrors and the family actors too. Found Neil Crone hilarious in the game show part.
Neil Crone is always funny, the Booker surprise line.
That's the one. And he really enjoyed the ending, the literal cliffhanger.
Simple pleasures. Nick's 11.
Also, One Day at Horrorland.
Okay, seems this one landed solidly mid-pack for them. What were Nick's highlights?
Creature design. Love the horrors, especially the male ones like Neil Crone's.
Yeah.
Wished Trick or Treat Studios would make a mask.
Merch potential.
And he loved the monster show sequence with the fake commercial.
Oh yeah, the Human Toys action figures and the Monster Love ballad.
He called it the funniest episode of the show in terms of pure comedy.
So it succeeded on the camp front for him. Okay, finally cracking the top 10.
Isaiah's number 10, The Ghost Next Door.
Okay, he saw this one as more dramatic, right?
Yeah, the most dramatic Goosebumps episode dealt with really heavy material, kid finding out they're dead, the fire, EMTs. Called the ending sad.
It is pretty poignant. Did he like the ghost effect?
He did, personally, like the shadow ghost.
Okay. Contrasting with Nick there.
And the big twist at the end of part 1, Hannah realizing she's the ghost, he called that a massive, what? Moment compared to The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, it's a great twist. Still holds up.
He thought it was an interesting, darker way to end a season that had been mostly really campy.
Gave it some weight. Okay, Bjorn's number 10.
Bjorn's 10 was Perfect School.
The non-book one. He said this grew on him, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a favorite as a kid because no monsters, but grew on me as an adult.
What did he like about it now?
Enjoyed the acting, the story, and he was actually kind of sad there was never a sequel, given how it ended.
Yeah, the cloning concept has legs. Felt unfinished, maybe?
Seems like it. Shows the core idea really resonated with him later on. Nick's number 10. Nick had werewolf skin.
Okay. He loves werewolves, he said.
Called it one of his absolute favorite episodes. Praised the character and died for your sins, he joked.
And the main kid, Alex.
Thought Alex's actor was great. Found the bullies funny, compared them to Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers.
Okay, nice analogy. What about the horror?
Loved werewolf design. Called the window scene werewolves clawing at the bars infamous and creepy. Gave him nightmares.
Yeah, that scene is intense. Any other favorite moments?
The bus driver telling the ghost story said that woman deserves an Oscar. High praise for a bit part.
She really sells it. Okay, number 9. Getting serious now.
Isaiah's 9 was Haunted Mask 2.
The sequel. How did he feel it compared?
Called it a great follow-up, praised the acting from the kids, and Scott Wickware again as the shopkeeper mask.
What aspects stood out?
Liked how Steve, the main kid, kind of embraces sort of the assholishness of the mask and the body horror of him turning into an old man.
Yeah, that's pretty effective.
Enjoyed the cemetery climax too, felt similar to the first one. Overall, a great follow-up, though not quite as good as the original.
And he watches them back to back on Halloween.
Yep, a tradition. Bjorn's number 9. Bjorn went with A Night in Terror Tower.
Wow, way higher than Isaiah. Why the difference?
He admitted he just likes medieval stuff, found the story good, didn't find too much of it confusing.
Okay, so the plot worked for him. Did he agree about the English people?
Hilariously, yes. Agreed many Londoners were pricks and related it to Australians somehow.
Okay, what else did he like?
The production value. Felt like a big production, praised the great props, the really well-done courtyard scenes with lots of extras, liked the executioner actor.
Yeah, it does feel a bit bigger scale.
And the nostalgia factor was huge for him. It was his very first Goosebumps VHS.
That explains a lot. First experiences always stick with you.
Totally. Holds a personal favorite, very nostalgic place for him. Nick's number 9. Nick also had Haunted Mask 2.
Okay. What was his take? Iconic sequel.
Called it iconic, yeah. Appreciated creepy moments like the spiders in the old man's hair.
Ew, yeah.
But he was also critical, said it was light years from the first Haunted Mask. Lacked the nuance, the deeper implications.
So, more straightforward horror.
Yeah. Felt more like a traditional Goosebumps story focused on body horror, less on character depth like the first. Still loved it, though, and felt it accents the first one well.
Good pairing. Okay, number 8. And this was a special one, right?
Yes. First unanimous agreement. All 3 hosts ranked Werewolf Skin at number 8.
Wow, okay, so it clearly struck a chord with all of them.
Yeah.
What did Isaiah like?
Loved the concept wearing skin to become a werewolf. Very Goosebumps.
Definitely. And the execution?
Loved every character, felt everyone got their time to shine, memorable performances.
Nice. Horror highlights for him.
Alex's nightmares compared the teacher transformation to American Werewolf in London. The creepy window scene again.
That scene keeps coming up.
And the bit where the aunt and uncle confront Alex when he tries to bury the skins, eyes are sunk, hobbling. Give us our skins? Found that really disturbing.
Yeah, that's unsettling. So overall, a good one for him.
Good idea. Liked it a lot. Bjorn, also at number 8. Why did he love it?
Well, he mentioned werewolves are his favorite of the classic monsters, though creature is his top universal one.
Personal preference playing a role.
Definitely. Agreed with Isaiah's points. Specifically loved that creepy breakfast scene after the reveal.
Oh, yeah. What about it?
The aunt and uncle eating 3 little pigs, syrup and bacon, and casually saying, "We had a bite last night." Dark humor.
That is darkly funny. He liked the technical aspects, too.
Yeah, praised the editing and music. Felt well put together. Nick's number 8.
Nick's 8 was Perfect School.
Okay. So he broke the werewolf consensus, but ranked this one high.
Called it his absolute favorite episode. Said, as an adult, it became one of the greatest. Mentioned the director, Ron Oliver. Loved it so much they made it 2 parts.
High praise from the director, too.
Nick thought it could have been a movie, even without the Goosebumps name.
Wow. What about the concept grabbed him so much?
The cloning kids cloned, originals imprisoned in the basement, fakes sent home. Found it so genius and truly terrifying.
Yeah, it's a chilling idea. The loss of self.
He even wondered if school systems might start doing that. Loved how it was shot, especially the hall scenes.
Any dislikes?
Hated the 4-eyed friend, called him a bit of a douchebag.
Can't like everyone. But overall,
a triumph in the Goosebumps TV series. Strong words.
very strong. Okay, number 7. Another special one.
Yes. The second unanimous agreement. Stay out of the basement at number 7 for all 3.
Wow, okay. Another clear favorite across the board, Isaiah's take.
Big nostalgia hit his first VHS tape.
Always powerful. What about the episode itself?
Loved the body horror aspect of finding out your dad is a plant. Classic Goosebumps weirdness.
Definitely. Specific creepy scenes for him.
The bathroom scene leaves, green blood. Very creepy. The dad's demeanor, super creepy. Such discontent in his eyes. The basement setting, the green lighting.
Setting the mood.
The worms on the bed, super gross image. Liked hearing how they filmed that. The hand plant grabbing the crowbar. The plant with the face inside. Super disturbing.
Yeah, lots of iconic creepy moments in that one.
Called it a classic episode through and through. Always happy to rewatch it. Bjorn, also at 7.
What did Bjorn focus on? He said it kept him hooked.
Yeah, kept me enthralled the entire time. Found the idea of the plant duplicating people fascinating. Wondered what happened to Dr. Merrick, the friend.
Yeah, did he become plant food? Grim thought.
He compared Dr. Brugger to Poison Ivy from Batman.
Makes sense. Any critiques from Bjorn?
Just one, really. Questioned the mom's lack of concern about her husband acting so weirdly.
Yeah, the parental obliviousness is strong in Goosebumps. When do you start questioning what your husband's doing? Good question.
Totally. And Nick, rounding out the number 7 consensus.
What did Nick add? Any fun facts?
Yep. Pointed out the video game footage is actually from Welcome to Camp Nightmare.
Oh, cool detail. Recycling footage.
Praised Judah Katz as Dr. Brewer, one of the greatest actors in the show. Creepy, good.
He really nails that unsettling vibe.
Nick highlighted those iconic moments that just scream Goosebumps. The green goo from the arm, the leaves growing from the head.
Yes, instantly recognizable.
Praised the music and the panning shots when the dad stands in the doorway, perfectly orchestrated, showed how all the elements work together.
Definitely feels like a well-crafted episode. Okay, top 6. The cream of the crop.
Getting into the truly beloved episodes now. Isaiah's number 6 was Perfect School.
Okay. He liked this one a lot, even if Nick loved it more.
Yeah, said he initially had it higher but still likes it a lot. Thought they did a fantastic job adapting a short story into an hour-long piece.
What aspects did he praise?
The direction, the acting, and the tension. Love how tense this episode is, even before the cloning starts. Just the strict boarding school vibe.
Yeah, it builds that atmosphere well. Any standout horror scenes for him?
The end of part 1, Brian getting injected, and the iconic scene of him running down the hall into his clone.
Covered in goo?
Yeah, covered in like vat juice, saying you're not going anywhere. Found it horrifying, terrifying.
It's a great jump scare moment, and he liked the ending.
Yeah, called it probably the only positive twist ending in Goosebumps. Brian escapes, hacks the system. Pretty good ending.
Nice to see it win sometimes.
He felt it was a really good adaptation and pretty underrated. Deserves more love.
Fair enough. Bjorn's number 6.
Bjorn picked Night of the Living Dummy 3.
Okay. But he had issues with the puppet, right?
Big time. The inconsistent slappy switching between the suit actor and different dummies he found really jarring pulled him out of it.
Yeah, that's a common complaint. But he still ranked it pretty high. Why?
Like the actors, praised the sheer terror in their faces and screams, thought the production overall was very well done, effects were good.
Except for continuity errors.
Yeah.
Like Hayden Christensen smiling.
Exactly. So technically flawed in parts, but the core performances and production worked for him.
Okay. Nick's number 6.
Nick chose Werewolf of Fever Swamp.
Okay. He found ranking these top ones hard, didn't he?
Yeah, said it was not possible. They were all iconic. This one, he said, was the first episode I watched where it felt different in a good way.
Oh, so different tone.
Yeah, mentioned the opening score having a Deliverance vibe that made him say, whoa, more atmospheric.
Okay, I can see that.
It was one of his first VHS tapes. Really scared me. Praised the swamp hermit. Absolutely traumatized me. Liked Grady's actor.
Did he share Isaiah's frustration with the parents?
Yep. Questioned their disbelief about the dog and the fence, and loved the soundtrack, one of his absolute favorites.
Seems the music really stood out in that one.
Called it a fantastic episode, hard to rank it even this low for him.
High praise.
The veil between her world and the other realm has faded, unleashing magic into the lives of ordinary citizens. Awakening from a 4-year coma, Tori James discovers a world transformed. For some, like Tori, the unveiling ignites hidden abilities. With her expertise in classical languages, she's drawn into a world of thieves and magic. Join Tori on her magical journey in Book 1 of the Unveiled book series, Revival. Unveil your destiny.
Okay, top 5 territory.
Isaiah's number 5 was Night of the Living Dummy 3.
Okay. So, higher than Bjorn. This was his favorite Slappy episode.
Yep, his personal favorite of the slappy ones. Ranked it 3, then 2, then Bride, and controversially said it's better than the book.
Why better than the book?
Because Zane, the cousin, is not a little asshole in the show. He found him more sympathetic, maybe.
Interesting take. What else did he like?
The camaraderie between the 3 kids once they team up. Praised the parents' jokes, the National Guard line. Enjoyed the dad's goofy magician thing.
Yeah, the family dynamic is kind of fun.
Liked Cal Dose as Slappy and Eugene Linsky as Rocky, the other dummy. Found Rocky a fun character for Slappy to boss around.
And the climax.
Loved Rocky beating the tar out of Slappy and then throwing him out the window. Found it hilarious.
Dummy on dummy violence.
Called it a really fun episode. Always puts it on. Bjorn's number 5. Bjorn had Welcome to Dead House.
Okay, the original pilot. You found this hard to rank too.
Yeah. Acknowledged the top 5 were tough. Said there was nothing bad, honestly, I could say about it.
High praise. What did he like?
Loved the character progression, how they seemed pale and weird. Later clarified they were like zombie vampires who hate sunlight. Liked both the book and the episode.
Solid adaptation for him then. Nick's number 5.
Nick chose A Night in Terror Tower.
Wow. Okay. Big jump from the others. His love for medieval stuff paying off.
Definitely a factor. Admitted he's a sucker for medieval stuff. Agreed the English characters were assholes. Related it to Australians again.
Consistent theme. What else boosted it for him?
The big production feel. Praised the props, the big courtyard scene, the extras, the executioner actor.
Felt grander than usual.
And again, the nostalgia. His very first Goosebumps VHS. Huge impact.
Can't overestimate that first tape feeling.
Called it a great episode, really well done, felt Everyone brought their A game.
Okay, number 4. Almost at the peak.
Isaiah's number 4 was Werewolf of Fever Swamp.
Okay, loves werewolves, loves this episode. What stood out?
The isolated setting really enhances the fear.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But he still had issues with the parents.
Oh, yeah. Called them idiots for not believing the dog could damage the fence or bite wood. Questioned their lack of concern.
Parental logic gaps strike again. What about the positives?
Loved the soundtrack, the guitar picks, the country feel, the guitar riffs during the chases, the high percussion. Really built tension.
Music was key for him here.
Found the climax really tense and amps up the scares werewolf in the house, the POV chase, the woods chase.
Yeah, it's a great finale.
Loves putting it on, a big thrill, praised the werewolf effects, and loved R.L. Stine's cameo ending with the werewolf hands.
Classic Stine. Okay, Bjorn's number 4.
Bjorn had Welcome to Camp Nightmare.
The summer camp one. He said this could swap with Deadhauser.
Yeah, very close for him. Loved the storytelling, all the characters, even Larry the asshole.
Memorable jerk. Uncle Al.
Found Uncle Al creepy. Praised the actor's ability to flip from friendly to menacing instantly.
Yeah, he's unsettling. And the ending.
The ending was a big surprise for him. The reveal about the military camp, Saber being fake.
And then the real twist.
The aliens,
Yeah.
that really shocked him. What the flip, just what, that ending really put this one over Deadhouse for him.
That twist is wild, completely out of left field.
Nick's number 4 was Welcome to Deadhouse.
Okay, so Bjorn had Camp Nightmare just above it. Nick has Deadhouse here. What scared Nick about this one?
Said it genuinely creeped me out. The graveyard scene, the chase, grabbing Amanda's foot was his introduction to like the zombie genre.
Wow, formative zombie experience.
Found the night scenes really eerie. Ray walking the halls, the zombie sounds, Amanda waking up startled.
Builds that suspense well. Most memorable moment for him.
The scene where Amanda looks out the window, shutters close on their own, guy's hand is there but doesn't move it. Creepy, man. It's so creepy.
Yeah, that's a classic subtle scare.
Admitted he didn't like renting it as a kid because it scared him so much, but his love for it grew as an adult.
Sometimes the scariest ones become favorites later. Okay, the top 3.
Isaiah's number 3, Welcome to Camp Nightmare.
Okay, so he agrees with Bjorn. This is top tier stuff.
Called it great, loved the tension, phenomenal acting.
Who stood out character-wise?
Billy, the lead. Called him a great lead. Loved the overall sense of isolation and tension.
Yeah, the camp setting helps with that. And the ending.
A classic, a what the hell is going on moment. Praised the direction, the look, the setting. Really good episode.
Solid pick. Bjorn's number 3.
Bjorn had Werewolf of Fever Swamp.
Okay, so swapping places with Isaiah there. What made it top 3 for him?
Called it so iconic, one of the best episodes in all of Goosebumps.
High praise indeed. What specifically?
The werewolf costume was great. Praised the music, the visuals. Believed with a few changes it could legit be a great horror movie.
Wow. Cinematic potential.
Loved the twist of Grady being the werewolf and highlighted the hermit's tragic story.
Yeah, poor hermit. Misunderstood, helps, then dies.
Right. Got the shaft the whole time. Praised the actor too.
A surprisingly sad element. Nick's number 3.
Nick picked the big one. The haunted mask.
Knew it had to be high for someone. Iconic status.
Called it arguably the most iconic episode. His 3rd most favorite episode of all time.
Wow. Strong personal connection.
Watched it endlessly as a kid, easy to find on VHS. Saw it as a very personal story about bullying and revenge.
Yeah, it has more depth than some. Creepiest scene for him.
The shop scene. All the masks start floating, making their way to Carly Beth, saying, "Go join us, Carly Beth."
That scene is terrifying.
Said it freaked the shit out of me as a kid and my brother. Admitted the CGI was dodgy, but that made it scary, unnerving. Compared it to King Ramses from Courage.
Okay, that's a deep cut comparison, but I get it.
Called it nightmare fuel, even had dreams about masks jumping at him.
Understandable, it leaves an impression.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, the runner-up spot.
Isaiah's number 2 is Welcome to Deadhouse.
Okay, zombies and creepy houses for the win.
Loves them both, called it a great culmination. Found it a very creepy story. The idea of zombies trying to get in is terrifying. Thought the townsfolk were super creepy.
Yeah, the whole town feels off. Favorite part?
The climax. His favorite climax of any Goosebumps episode. Zombies attacking, cornering them in the attic. Pure suspense.
It's a great siege sequence. Performances.
Everyone did a great job. Like, the talking zombies makes them freaky. And the fact they burn in sun zombie vampires.
Good hybrid. Did he solve the muffin mystery?
Nope. Still wondering what was in those muffins if they don't eat. Classic Goosebumps logic hole. Overall, always really liked this one. Big, spooky house, zombies waiting.
Can't go wrong. Bjorn's number 2.
Bjorn had a surprise pick for number 2. Haunted Mask 2.
Wow. Higher than the original for him.
Seems like it. Said he enjoyed it far more than the book because of the changes made.
What changes worked for him?
Felt it gave a little bit more depth to Steve's character than the book did, focusing on his last year trick-or-treating, added some pathos.
Okay, character development. What else?
The body horror. He wished the first one had more visible transformation, but praised HM2 for showing Steve changing hands, posture, even smell.
Yeah, they really leaned into the aging process.
Loved everything about it. Shows how sequels can sometimes improve things for certain viewers.
Definitely. Nick's number 2. Let me guess.
Slappy.
You know it. Night as a Living Dummy 3.
His obsession. How many copies did he say he owns? 38. Plus international versions, because it's the one he watched more than any as a kid, calls himself slap crazy.
That is slap crazy. Why NLD 3 over NLD 2, which he preferred as a kid?
Because NLD 2 was at the start of the VHS tape, so he'd just let it run into NLD 3 all the time because, well, it was slappy.
Uh-huh. Accidental conditioning.
He did say if NLD 2 had been a two-parter, it might have been his favorite episode ever. But NLD 3 holds that second spot for him, his second favorite episode of all time.
Wow. Dedication.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
The Moment of Truth, number 1.
Isaiah's number 1, maybe predictably for some. The Haunted Mask.
The original, called it the best.
The best episode of the show, and hands down, no hesitation.
Why so definitive?
Really well written, really well acted, very well done. Found it very nuanced with a very deep message, more than just scares.
Yeah, the themes of identity and fear are strong.
Loved the ending, Carly Beth's character arc. Found the makeup and the mask itself incredible. Iconic design.
Absolutely. The atmosphere.
Wonderfully spooky atmosphere, perfect for Halloween. Said it was unlike any other Goosebumps episode in that respect. A treat to watch all the time. His number 1, two-parter, number 1 episode overall.
Can't argue with that pick. Bjorn's number 1. Was it also the mask?
It was. He agreed it was obviously his number 1.
Obvious. Why obvious for him?
Acknowledged it's a very deep story, whether it was meant to be or not. Praised the writing, acting, takes place around Halloween, his favorite holiday.
Ah, the Halloween factor again. And the mask design.
Called Ron's design so iconic, probably never be topped, even by the new Disney Plus show. Believes it inspired so many people, mask collectors, makers, special effects artists.
Yeah, its cultural impact is undeniable.
And the historical significance being the very first episode, it started at the top of the hill,
Right.
simply iconic.
Hard to beat the original sometimes. Okay, drum roll. Nick's number 1. Did he stick with Haunted Mask too?
Nope. Nick's number 1 pick was Welcome to Camp Nightmare.
Wow. Okay, a different top pick. Why this one for him?
Said it became his favorite over the last 10, 12 years. It wasn't always number 1.
Interesting evolution. Why the shift?
Thematic connection. His favorite book is Camp Jelly Jam, which wasn't adapted, so he loves the camp aspect theme of Goosebumps.
Ah, filling that camp void. Makes sense.
Loved the soundtrack, loved every single character, even asshole Larry.
Uh-huh. Larry gets another shout out. The protagonist.
Billy, played by Kai, called him his hero in the Goosebumps series. Felt heroic, looked up to him, liked his 90s style.
Okay, really connected with the main character.
Loved Saber the Monster, even the robotic version. And the ending, really, really intense ending that no one really saw coming that hadn't read the book. The twist was huge for him.
Yeah, that ending is a mind blower.
Said it just hits home somehow, hits all those beats, feels like the essence of Goosebumps is there 100% all the way through. His all-time favorite Goosebumps episode.
Wow. A really passionate defense for Camp Nightmare.
So there you have it. 3 different number 1s, lots of disagreements down the list. It really shows, doesn't it? Even among huge fans.
Yeah, opinions can be wildly different, especially when you get into ranking things.
It kind of speaks to the show's variety, you know, that episodes can hit people so differently but still be beloved.
Totally. It's not always about, like, objective quality. It's about how that story connects with you.
Exactly. That personal connection, the first VHS, loving werewolves, the camp theme, it influences things so much.
It really does. It's less about just the technical side and more about, yeah, how it resonates.
Yeah.
How it becomes your favorite. Nostalgia, critical eye, it all mixes together.
Precisely. And hey, if you listening want to hear more from the Goosebumps crew themselves,
Yeah, where can people find them?
definitely check out their YouTube channel, the Goosebumps crew. New videos there every Wednesday.
And the audio version.
Drops Tuesdays on, you know, all the usual places, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio.
Good stuff. They're on social media too, right?
Yep. Active on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Good place to keep up with their updates.
Cool. So, listening to all this ranking discussion, it brings up a question for you, our listener.
Yeah.
Given everything we've talked about, the criteria, the different takes, which Goosebumps two-parter do you think has the most replay value? Like the one you can watch over and over?
Ooh, good question. Is it one they ranked high? Or maybe one they put lower down the list that just clicks for you?
Exactly. Something to think about. Why does that particular one keep drawing you back in?
Definitely something to mull over. We'll be back next week with another exploration. Until then, stay safe.
And don't forget to have a very scary day.
Greetings, boys and girls. My name is Isaiah Vargas. For over 3 decades, R.L. Stine's Goosebumps has reigned as one of the best-selling book series in history, spawning a monster franchise that's lasted since 1992 and spawning a massive fan base. Folks who love to talk about this influential series, and that's where we come in. Join the Goosebumps crew, Nick Shaw, Bjorn Panelik, and myself every week as we dive into the world of Goosebumps and talk about everything from the books, TV shows, movies, video games, merchandise, and so much more. Many like-minded Goosebumps fans and a growing list of special guests join us, so if you want Goosebumps, get with the program. Tune in to the Goosebumps crew every week on YouTube and audio platforms. Become a Goosebumps crew member today. Listen with the lights on.